Hey you guys, welcome to part 2 of my Vikings season 4 episode 3, review entitled Mercy. So pretty much in part 1 I pretty much, got all the Bjorn stuff out the way, all the Paris stuff out the way. So now we're going to go more into Wessex and also the Ragnar and say the Ragnar Aslog type deal. So in Wessex we have we have Judith pretty much being taught by Pretentious, I believe his name is Prudentious. So he's teaching her how to apply the oils and the paints, for to do the painting for the sacred texts and all that. But Judith asks Prudentious pretty much about the Northmen's attack or siege on Paris, and he says that many of the Northmen when they went inside, especially the cathedral in Notre Dame, whatever, that many of them died because of disease. And he also mentions that the the famous Viking leader Ragnar Lothbrok led the attack, whatever, and that he even faked his own death in order to get inside the city, which Judith kind of smirked at. So yeah, she asks about, did you ever hear anything about a monk named Athelstan that was a part of it? And he was like, no, I did not. But if he was a monk and he was with them, he must, he should have been crucified, or he should be crucified. So yeah, he talks about the adhesion, in regards to the painting and the eggs, whatever. And Judith, for the first time ever, actually puts paint to paper, and you could tell she's kind of really like, like a oh my god moment. So yeah, the next scene, we have Egbert being highly impressed, and a little bit amused about, isn't that our Ragnar? Always, pretty much saying that you can expect him to do the unexpected or whatever. He was very proud of what Ragnar did. And Judith said there's probably a chance that our Athelstan, is dead. And Egbert's like, well, you know what, if he is dead, remember he lives in young Alfred and he lives in you, the vessel of that holy man's, child. And Judith said, stop, what's the word? What was it? Pretty much stop trying to, kiss my ass a little bit, I'm a sinner. And he's like, dude, we're all sinners. Ever since we came out of the garden, that's who we are. We're naturally, sinners. So you have this interesting scene in which he's in bed, whatever, and there's a knock. You hear someone open the door, and Judith pretty much, well, no, he has a knife. He has a knife underneath his pillow. And Judith's like, I will sleep with you if you pretty much reaffirm and confirm that you'll protect my son and that you'll treat me with respect and as an equal and all that shit. And he's like, okay, sure, I will. But, it's up to you if you want to stay. So it seemed like she's going to leave the room, but she stops, pretty much turns her back, undresses, and then you have this big-ass make-out scene. So, yeah, so this is where that old character comes back. So you have Ragnar, he just awoken, but he notices the Aslog's not there and the kids aren't there, and he's just like looking around because he kind of feels like, something's wrong. And you have around the same time Egbert waking up, from after giving Judith the bang of a lifetime. So they're both pretty much wandering, their domain. Ragnar's in the Great Hall, and Egbert wandering his hall, whatever, but he goes directly into, I call it the scroll room, the sacred text room, whatever. And you have him sort of reflecting on the text, reminding him and reflecting on, about Athelstan and all that stuff. You have Ragnar just sitting there, and you see the door, to the Great Hall is open. Then you have this really great, build up, music, because you just know something's gonna happen or whatever. It seemed to be a little bit of a mix of both, like a Christian type of chorus with a kind of Scandinavian type of chorus, but either way it was really awesome, And then you have this mysterious character come who's in black. They're in a black, attire with a hood over their face. You see this being, with a bowl of water, and he's starting to wash Ragnar's feet. And then you see Egbert, when he turns around, he's like, like he's seen a ghost. And then you see this when the music hits, though. You see Ragnar look at this person like what is this person? He starts to recognize bit by bit, and then the person takes off their hood. You see, it's Athelstan. It's fucking Athelstan. And then you see what Egbert, you see Athelstan have a different type of pose for each one. With Ragnar, he's very like, you know, what's the word? He's very like open, very nice, generous, whatever. But it seems like you know what I mean, with Egbert, he's more stern and more like, business. Like he's more business like with Egbert. You have King Egbert pretty much saying, "I've waited so long for you, my friend," and then you have pretty much Athelstan do this, the cross, and you have Athelstan pretty much say to Ragnar in regards to Floki, he's like, mercy, 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 because pretty much reaffirms, and also reminds the audience that Athelstan was definitely, the personification of Christianity itself, or whatever. And it's really interesting how they really literally had him like look like Jesus, literally, and from the approach, the attire, or whatever. You have Ragnar try to reach out to Athelstan, and then you have King Egbert trying to reach out to Athelstan. But it's ironic for both of them, Athelstan disappears. You have this instant reminder, when you watch this, that when you die, you know what I mean, no matter what, loved ones, whatever, there's no really coming back. Or if you do come back, you know what I mean, you can't stay forever. Your time is gone, man. It just sort of drills that into your head, especially with Ragnar's reaction. Just that reaction of sorrow and just like it was just, words can't describe it. So yeah, you have once again, after that you have King Egbert telling Judith that he believes Athelstan's dead because he gave him the cross, and he knew in his heart that Athelstan was dead. And Judith is crying, saying, "I loved him." And you have King Egbert, I swear for the first time in this whole fucking series, says, "I loved him too." It's the first time I ever heard him say he loved anyone, not even with his son. So yeah, I think that pretty much adds to my belief that King Egbert considered Athelstan his son, to be honest with you, more so than his own son, Aethelwulf. And speaking of Aethelwulf, you have Aethelwulf and Queen Kay. I believe they're in the frozen part of Mercia. It's really cold, and she says to Aethelwulf, "My son's gonna freeze to death," and he's like, "We can't light a fire because they'll let the people that's after us know where we are." But he gives her something, saying that you must survive. In direct opposition, when his father says, "Let Magnus survive." So yeah, they eventually come back. They return, and King Egbert is like, "So this is Magnus, the son of Ragnar Lothbrok." And Queen Kay is quick to correct him, "and the heir of Mercia." And he's like, "Come on, eat, drink, bathe, and all that shit." So Aethelwulf noticed that Judith's been crying. She's like, "Of course I've been crying. My husband, these are tears of joy." And we all know they weren't just tears of joy. Those were tears of pain. So we have this, to end this review, you have once again another beautiful music, with Ragnar getting the axe, whatever. And even Queen Asla is wondering, okay, what the fuck is he gonna do? Ragnar looks like he's serious business, whatever. Then you see him pretty much confront Floki and Helga. Helga's like, "What you gonna do?" And Ragnar's like, "You suffered enough, Helga." And he lets Floki free. He let the motherfucker free. And I'm like, damn. This episode was just so good all around, from the theme to the message to the acting. Superb. you know Excelente. But yeah, thanks you guys for watching my video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave some comments down below, and yeah, that's all I have to say about this episode. Till we meet again, adios.